Members, real quick, today is Martin Luther King's birthday. So he's a Capricorn. Last placement of Capricorn represented by the Four of Pentacles. That is a square. A square is a structure. It's also esoteric reference to masonry, to the cornerstone. Capricorns represent cornerstones. They represent the grand architect, the grand mason. Both Martin Luther King's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather were 33-degree Freemasons. The I Have a Dream speech is an esoteric ritual. And every year since that speech has happened, they highlight this speech on the day around the day that he has presented that speech, or either around his birthday. So I Have a Dream is not totally what people think. So black and white is the law of polarity. And his whole speech was about equality for all mankind. But he's really referencing both the light and the dark. His dream is a perpetual dream to carry on a legacy. Now, the black and white is an esoteric principle about bringing what's in the subconscious mind to light. If you break down his name, not only just Capricorn, but his first name was Michael. And Michael is the head archangel, the angel of protection, war, and freedom, and righteousness. Martin, that most people know him by, that means Martian, it means fight. So Martin means Mars, and Luther means famous. So his whole mission, and we already know about King. King means someone royal, superior. Break down his name: Michael, archangel. Martin, Mars, force, war. And Luther, that means someone that is famous. And king, someone of royalty. His father, whoever named him, executed it brilliantly. Just within his name, it carried great power. Being a Capricorn, the master builder, architect, and all of that is, of course, Freemason references and esoteric principles. Being a 33-degree Mason, the day he gave that speech, he presented that speech in front of the Lincoln Memorial. So Lincoln was a president that helped to free the melanated people. And it did a breakdown about New Year's and what that represents. Now, Abraham Lincoln was a melanated man. There's plenty of evidence out there floating around, historical evidence, books and stuff, that his father and his mother, Native American and Afro-American lineage. So he's the only president that's printed on a brown coin. He did that in front of the Lincoln Memorial. That location is a master geographical location. You can find streets named after him all over America. And a lot of people like to point out the fact that that's where most of the crime happens, on Martin Luther King Boulevard or street. He also has a memorial that's set up a lot like a sphinx, where it's him, it looks like a pyramid, with him standing upright, standing strong on a cornerstone. Being a Capricorn, put all the pieces together. He didn't go by the name of Michael. He went by the name of Martin Luther, which Martin Luther is a theologian and a monk from antiquity. He initially did not want to go into ministry, into theology, but I believe under the tutelage of his father, some type of conviction came in. And being with all of these different components, that it was only right for him to go into ministry, being that he's a Capricorn, the cornerstone, and the cornerstone of the church, the cornerstone of the temple, to carry out a mass ritual that has been building in momentum and power ever since his great-grandfather, and probably even generations before then, where they have been building up to him, the last cornerstone. I'm pretty sure it's people carrying on his legacy and his family, but the last cornerstone to solidify the king name in history around the world. The I Have a Dream speech was a dream that his fathers had, previous generations, his father, his grandfather, his great-grandfather, and even probably before then. That was that dream that was being manifested through him. After his death, what was in the subconscious mind, the dark, was brought to light, the white. That black and white will be one, will be treated equally. That means that what was in the subconscious mind was brought to light, and now equal balance on both sides, the spiritual and the physical. So that mass ritual that was brought through to solidify his father's dream. This may seem far-fetched because most people may not know about esoteric principles, but also the history and herstory of this country and of the world pretty much. But especially in this country, the Rockefellers, mass rituals handed down from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next. And there's so many different other families that we can name off. But this was a mass ritual, and he did help a lot of people. But this is the thing, the more people that you help along the way, the more powerful you are on both sides, the spiritual and the physical. Stay tuned for more esoteric breakdowns. Peace. And thank you so much for your continued support. Pass along the word for more members to join. I very much appreciate it. This is just too much to post publicly.